happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to see this one. So we got those crazy ladies on the set of ABC's The View back at it again. That View host, Sunny Hostin, is essentially asking and begging for legal trouble in this newest update, guys. I'm excited to get into this one. Call them out on their stuff, so we're going to hop straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Media and the White House mucked up a Face magazine cover with him wearing a crown. See that? Yeah, he's the Lion King.
Oh, like Lion Ted?
Please, if he's king, I'm Queen Beatrice of the Netherlands, okay? He also admitted what life would have been like if he hadn't run for president again. It would have been so sad for him. Watch.
I had to make a big decision, and it was a very risky decision because if I would have lost, my life would have been a much different life. It would have been a very nasty life. They were going after me at levels that nobody's ever seen before. I had to make a decision, do I do this? Because if I lost, it would have been very, very bad. It was dangerous, actually, very dangerous in so many different ways.
So he said he says he would have had a hard life if he wasn't elected, and now we all have a hard life because he was.
Yeah.
What? And that's where these ladies lose me. I mean, Donald Trump had everything to lose, nothing to win at that point when he said he was going to run again for president. I mean, they came after that guy with, mountains of legal lawfare, charade case in order to get in between him and that seat of the White House. But he had to do it in order to, stand up. They weren't truly trying to get at Donald Trump. He was just in the way of them getting to us, and he would not back down, even through all the attempts on his life to put him in prison, to take him off the earth. I mean, come on, you guys. They got to give this up.
Elected, and now we all have a hard life because he was.
Yeah.
Keep crying.
But I ask you, Sonny, did winning the election save him from going to prison?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
He was convicted of 34 counts here in New York. There is no power, a pardon power for a state conviction. And there is for a federal conviction.
Well, he could have pardoned himself.
He could have tried to pardon, not for state. Even the president can't do that.
Right.
But I will say, his sentencing was coming up, and then he won, and it all went away. And he had 3 other cases that were pending. Jack Smith had to drop them because he was going to fire Jack Smith anyway. So Jack Smith dropped them, who was the federal prosecutor responsible for really the election interference case in January 6th. Those were, I thought, very meaty.
I thought she was admitting that Jack Smith was involved in election interference, which he blatantly was. And these ladies can see it as well. Sunny Hostin have to come up. They're essentially admitting that they knew this was all political. All the cases were dropped as soon as Donald Trump was elected in November 5th. These folks ran for the hills because they knew what was to come next. You can't seek to weaponize the DOJ against a political opponent and think that they're not going to come back at you after they're elected in. This isn't retribution or revenge. This is simply justice that we're seeing being carried out. Because if Donald Trump doesn't do something right now, guys, if he doesn't do something now, when these folks someday get back into power, guess what? They're going to be back at it again trying to do it. Weaponize the DOJ in order to continue to keep that power. And we can't let that happen.
Really, the election interference case in January 6th, those were, I thought, very meaty and robust cases. And he avoided it all.
But that doesn't sound fair to me. That doesn't sound American to me, Alyssa. If the person gets all the charges dropped from the guy just because he wins an election, is that American?
The charges were because he was running for election. Listen to him cry, you guys. My cup is running over with these liberal tears. Listen to him.
Dropped from the guy just because he wins an election. Is that American?
I could argue that the precedent of imprisoning a president of the United States and sentencing them when they're a sitting president would be dangerous and complicated to do, or you can have Secret Service with him in jail. There's just a lot of things. It would just be completely unprecedented.
It's DOJ policy not to indict or imprison a sitting president.
What if it was a Democrat?
I would feel the same
It's
way.
still DOJ policy. It is still DOJ policy. I think it would be very
Sad.
difficult. But I have something to say about this "Long Live the King." It's very interesting. Political commentator and journalist Ezra Klein. I talked about him last week. He wrote in the New York Times. He's excellent. Don't believe Trump.
Yeah.
And what he said is that Trump has never really wanted to be president. He actually has always wanted to be king. And he also says that his plan this time is to first play king on television. And if we believe he is already king, we will be likelier to let him govern as a king. So don't believe him. Because right now what we're seeing is he's waving his scepter, his king scepter. Yeah. Congestion pricing is gone.
Right.
He's waving his
Although
scepter.
I'm pro-congestion pricing being gone, and Whoopi would agree with me.
Well, I don't know.
Wow, see, and even the ladies on this, Alyssa's about to get her, so he's dancing on that fine line of getting kicked off the set. When you bring and you go against the point, saying that Donald Trump isn't doing anything that is out of line or out of the ordinary. I mean, I'm not believing any of these folks from the Times Magazine saying that Donald Trump's trying to become a king. I mean, he's laid out his agenda, his plan, and his mission all along the campaign trail, and that's exactly what we voted for on November 5th. Whatever these folks are trying to tell me, I can't believe it when the guy's already laid out his plan and he's starting to act on it on day one. Look how much has gotten done in the last 30 days. You can't sit here and tell me this guy is lying to us.
He's waving his
Although
scepter.
I'm pro-congestion pricing being gone, and Whoopi would agree with me.
Well, I don't know. I feel like my drive-in has been a little bit easier and smoother. But, he's waving the scepter around, and people seem to think that things are happening by executive order. And I think that is his plan. He wants to run for a third term.
Well,
He wants
frankly,
to be
I
king.
think I think Elon Musk is king, and he's much more of a court jester. Donald Trump.
Possible.
But
And we're only 30 days in, and they're already talking about Donald Trump potentially trying to run for a third term. I mean, come on, you guys. They know that's not possible. It's not happening. On top of that, we're only 30 days in. Give this guy his term. Give him a little time to make some things shape. He won't need a third term after he's finished with this second one, is what it looks like to me.
I think Elon Musk is king, and he's much more of a court jester. Donald
Possible.
Trump.
Back on
Possible.
Elon.
Look, I think what he did with this king, calling himself of a king, is he's trolling the opposition, and he is distracting us, distracting the media, so that we don't talk about the nuclear scientists who were accidentally fired.
Right.
So that we don't talk about the bird flu experts that were accidentally fired. So that we don't talk about the 9/11.
And they still play right. And if this is what they really believe is happening, which I don't, Donald Trump is just naturally, he's going to tell it how it is. And then on the other hand, he's going to make lots of jokes at the expense of these folks, these loonies on the left. And they're falling right into his plan. If this is what they truly thought this was a big distraction, guess what? They're covering. The king is here. The king has ended congestion pricing over in New York. Come on, y'all. They playing right into his trap if that's what they really think is going on.
Experts that were accidentally fired. So that we don't talk about the 9/11
Talk about it.
survivors who are going to lose their benefits. So that we don't talk about the price of eggs that is through the roof that he had promised to slash on day one. So that we don't talk about Jocelyn Carrasco, the 11-year-old girl in Texas who died by suicide because she was being bullied at her school, 11 years old.
Yeah.
She was being bullied by being told that her parents were going to be taken away by ICE. Yeah. She was being terrorized by others. We need to create safe spaces for the children of immigrants, for the immigrant children.
And that again goes to the point they say they try to blame Donald Trump for literally everything. I mean, that breaks my heart. And my prayers, my blessings definitely goes out to that family. But Donald Trump is not to blame, for what's going on, what folks are saying inside of a middle school or an elementary school. It sounds like there needs to be a little bit more of proper guidance. The teachers, the administration of that school need to take charge and actually have control of what's being said and done within their classrooms. It doesn't sound like there's enough means or resources within that district for children to feel like they could go to a safe place or safe haven to speak out. I know when I was in school, if there was trouble or something going on, there was always someone that you could reach out to, guidance counselor, someone of adult that's going to take charge and make sure they rectify the situation. I'm so sad that it got to this point, but again, this is not on Donald Trump. Just like the price of eggs, I'm tired of them bringing that up when the last 4 years they hadn't said one peep or covered eggs or the price for groceries once.
We need to create safe spaces for the children of immigrants, for the immigrant children, so that they can go to school without being the victims of this kind of terror. And I am going to continue talking about DACA.
We need to create a safe space, not just for, I would say, legal immigrants. I'll say that, but also all the children. Like I said, everyone should have access to proper guidance, counseling if need be.
That's what this is about.
I'm surprised Trump remembered what Time magazine is, because a few weeks ago, Elon Musk was on it, and he was quoted as saying, oh, does anyone read Time? Where's Time magazine? And then here we are with a fake cover,
Suddenly.
which he's also decorated Mar-a-Lago with some fake covers.
He says the quiet price.
I know.
You know, quiet
I may
piece
come
out
up with my
loud.
own cover for my hallway too, because I didn't know you could do that. But I also think the fact that he's calling himself a king is not surprising, shocking, anything, because he's been acting like a king the whole time. He told us he'd be a dictator for his first day only, but that's because he also knew then he'd just become a king. So
that's what he wants.
Same messaging there.
Yeah.
But I agree with Anna on this, that I think this is such an easy thing to be like, oh my God, he said it himself. This is a huge deal. This is the same thing he said. The Constitution is inconvenient for him. He's talked about the courts don't have, J.D. Vance went out and tweeted a week ago, the courts can't even overstep the executive branch. Like, a lot of things have been said, and this is a clear reflection of all that, but I think it is to distract from a lot of the things we're seeing right now, the haphazard and loose way.
Where is the Republican Party?
They're the ones
in
this.
They're starting.
Look at all the chaos. Let's take a second. Look at the chaos that is currently ensuing on this table. I mean, that's what Donald Trump and that Trump derangement syndrome does to you. It leaves you a little confused, a little discombobulated. See, these ladies can't get a grasp or get a grip on what they should truly be talking about. They're wasting their time, their airtime, potential viewership, what little viewership they still have left to speak about this. I mean, come on. They're playing right into his trap. If that's what they truly think is happening, Donald Trump's trying to distract them from what truly matters. Why are they wasting their time covering things like this? He's already got it done. Now he's trolling you guys.
Where is the Republican Party is what I want to know.
They're
They
starting
are
to
the
get
ones
upset.
who can step up and stop this nonsense.
So just a couple of things. As a fact check, America does not have a king. Donald Trump is not a king. Ukraine is not run by a dictator. It is run by the duly elected president Zelensky,
Who did not
has
invade
a
themselves, by
who did
the
not
way.
invade themselves and has
Right.
a 57% approval rating with his own people. But I'll say this, I would really caution Trump world against over-interpreting the endorsement of him winning to mean that he can just do anything and he can throw decades of what the GOP and the country
But
have
don't
stood
people
for
say
out
that
the
he
window.
has a mandate?
He has, so he does have a historically high approval rating with the Republican Party right now, but it's already dropping in his first month in office by nearly 7 points. If he treats our allies worse than our enemies, that is going to backfire even with his own party, but broadly with the country. If he doesn't address the things he was elected to do, the cost of living, and instead puts in place trade wars that rise the cost of living, that is going to backfire. And finally, if he comes after things like birthright citizenship, where there are voters who voted for him in this country, who support him, who are citizens because of birthright citizenship, it will backfire. So I just would caution him and those around him of thinking that they have this sweeping endorsement to do anything that they want. There are guardrails in place, and
I
the
would
American
question the
public will reject
Republicans in
it.
Congress to step up and do their job.
I'm going to stop it right there, guys. And again, to their point where they're saying that Donald Trump can just do anything and the Republicans need to step in and make sure he doesn't step out of line. I mean, guys, there are so many checks and balances in place that would never happen. And as far as Donald Trump, this goes again, plays into their Trump derangement syndrome where they can't see what's happening. Donald Trump is not losing our allies or offending our allies. He's making them respect us again, and our enemies are afraid, terrified of our country because we got true leadership back in the White House. I don't understand where these ladies get off trying to say this isn't what we voted for in November 5th. This is exactly what the country, our nation spoke up and voted for, and I don't see any of his voters upset. These ladies once again showing us that they truly cannot get over this guy, Donald Trump, and all of his wins, what he's been able to get done in just 30 days for our nation. Guys, definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.